Welcome to Off-Grid Victory. So we're doing a little bit of cleanup today, and I wanted to show you that, and also talk about some of the consequences of all of this, and maybe it'll benefit somebody, right? So yeah, my land is pretty rural, and over the years, they didn't have trash service right here, or they were too poor or too cheap to pay for it. And so consequently, what they did was they dumped a lot of trash back there in the wood line. And normally I would never go into this area, and probably even, an owner ago, two owners ago, they never came back here because it is in the deep woods. And this is where, in the olden days, they used to dump trash. And from what I can discern from the trash, this trash has probably been here from the late 70s into the 80s. And maybe into the early 90s too, but I'm pretty sure it's fairly from the 80s, from the trash that I found. And so I want to talk to you about the trash that I found and some of the things you can do with it, right? So a lot of this trash happens to be glass. Like in the olden days, I had a turn of the century Victorian home, and they used to dig outhouses and throw all their little medicine bottles and things like that into it. And you dig it up currently, and yeah, you'd make a little bit of money getting these old medicine bottles and selling them on places like eBay, right? At any rate, you really can't do that with this stuff that I found. Maybe in another 100 years so, but not today. So what we're going to do is recycle them. And so there's an old crankshaft, or the shaft for the motor that the pistons ride on, that I found, camshaft maybe. At any rate, most of it is glass that I found that I can recycle now, and some of the trash debris, the plastic stuff, I'll take care of. But yeah, most of this is from the 80s, and I recognize some of the brands here, so let's talk about that. So these are soda pop bottles, right? Or pop bottles, and in the olden days, I guess, well, these days we have high fructose corn syrup. Maybe they had some derivative or something similar to that in the olden days, but they definitely had artificial colors, artificial dyes, all sorts of nasty stuff, including this product, NutraSweet, that they used to put on these, diet sodas, right? And so, yeah, people wonder why we have cancer these days, like people over the age of 50. There's an alarming statistics. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Maybe it's like 1 out of 5 people get cancer or something like that. And that's probably, this kind of stuff probably had something to do with it, right? I mean, there's really no way to specifically identify soft kill kind of mechanisms that people used, knowingly and sometimes unknowingly, right, over the years. And so, yeah, that happens. But anyway, nothing insidious. This is not a conspiracy theory kind of video. But what I wanted to talk to you about is like some of this stuff, right? Like, it's kind of interesting when you dig up things like this and you recognize them, because it's kind of the stuff you grew up with. So yeah, I mean, one of the things you can do is maybe repurpose this. And so when it goes to the recycling, hopefully they'll recycle all this glass into something more usable than glass bottles for soda, right? Of course, we don't have that anymore. We use plastics. But at any rate, I just wanted to show you what I'm doing today, something blast from the past to look at. And yeah, general cleanup on your homestead. You want to constantly beautify where you live. It'll just improve your spirits. Anyway, alrighty, shalom.